I am so thankful for the opportunity to address the Alexandria Rotary Club. Last time that I was here, which was May a year ago, I was mayor-elect at the time, had just come off of not one but two election cycles to get to that point with the primary and then the runoff. But to be here as a speaker for the first time as mayor is certainly an honor, and I thank you Rotarians for receiving me in that way. It's very appropriate too that I'm here because many of you I have worked with over the years. Either you live in Pineville and you work in Alexandria, or you live in Alexandria and you work in Pineville. But either way, I appreciate this platform to talk about the city that I love and I'm so proud of. I do want to take a moment of personal privilege, even though their names have been announced already, and I'm going to introduce some of my staff during the program, but so happy to have my youngest son, Josh Dupree, here. He works for Marlar Ford and made sure to sell his mom a new truck before Giles moves to Pineville, so he and her got that accomplished, and I just got the bill. But also want to say thanks to Councilman Nathan Martin, who is my pastor, my best friend, my broadcast partner, and he was my campaign chairman at a time when he wasn't sure if he would have an opponent or not. Nathan, glad to have you here. Thank you. This past weekend marked the one-year anniversary of my election as Pineville's next mayor, so the timing of the presentation is really perfect, and it also shows you that time flies when you're having fun, or even if you're not. But I am having fun, to be clear. I am having fun, and as someone born and raised in Pineville, I've honestly never thought I would have this opportunity to serve as mayor. It was not even a thought in my mind. Working alongside my father, who was a janitor for then the new community center that was built on 28 East in the early 70s, and a little kid just working alongside him, learning how to mop those floors and run the buffer machine and that type of thing. And yet, you fast forward to my teenage years when Mayor Baden gave me the opportunity to actually get a paycheck to mop those floors and to run the buffer machine, and I worked alongside my father till he passed away as a junior at Pineville High School, and I went on to complete that summer of my junior and senior years of working for the city of Pineville. But even then, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would have the opportunity to be the mayor of the city I've lived in all of my life, and I'm so thankful for those precious memories I had with my father and the precious memories that I'm making going forward. Pineville has been quite busy since the last time I spoke to you May a year ago, and the last 2 weekends in general have been some of the busiest for our city that in quite some time, and I'm thrilled that post-COVID we're having those opportunities to do some things together again. One of those things was 2 weekends ago we had the Keep Louisiana Beautiful Love the Boot campaign. And you can see through some of the slides, we had over 100 volunteers from corporations, from churches, from civic groups that came together on the steps of City Hall, and then we went out into the community and worked. I sent a picture of the Love the Boot image that we had out front with the balloons to our lieutenant governor, and he told me that made my day, and it made my day when he shared it on his social media post. But we had the battle at Bulow also 2 weekends ago. First time that we've had over 300 boats back on Bulow Lake with 2 different boat racing associations that were certifying the race. And it was a fantastic opportunity. It opened a lot of doors for us with people that were coming back to Bulow for the first time in dozens of years and were commenting about, boy, this place is booming. And I told them they haven't seen anything yet. This past weekend was our 5th Saturday market on Main Street. We also had a crawfish boil And that was a fantastic opportunity. We've been doing Fifth Saturday events, obviously on fifth Saturdays of the month, and getting the focus back on Main Street, and that's been phenomenal as well. We also had the homeschool athletes from around the state here for baseball and softball this past weekend. It's not the LHSAA, but it is a venue for homeschool groups from across the state to be able, that are organized to come and play their championships. And they currently do their track, they do their football, they do their softball, they do their baseball, they do their basketball, and they do their soccer in Pineville. And we're so excited to have them and to have a platform for the Association of Christian Educators of Louisiana. We call them ACEL, so when you hear that name, know that that's what we're talking about. Pineville, of course, has a big project going when you talk about partnerships. Many of you know what's going on around Central State Hospital. And I want to be clear because during the campaign, some of my challengers wanted to talk about what they would do with that property. And what you have to understand is it's not the city's property. It's still property of the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals. We just happen to have an opportunity to sell that land for them and take advantage of the state's willingness to sell the property. And maybe you guys remember a senator by the name of Rick Gallo. He's now the president of Grambling University. He authored legislation back in 2013 to say if the state decided to sell land, they could only sell it to the Pineville Downtown Development District. And maybe you remember a guy by the name of Jeff Hall. Jeff was a state representative in 2013, and he authored the legislation to bring our Pineville Downtown Development District back to life. And those two partnerships is what enabled us to be able to sell the first 2 acres of land 3 years ago to the St. Romain family for the Why Not Stop. And that has been the catalyst for other developments to happen on state-owned property. The state sells it to the Pineville Downtown Development District, and the Pineville Downtown Development District in turn sells it to the prospective buyer. It's done through a request for proposal, and we are currently working on our 3rd request for proposal. The second one is netting us our first new car dealership in over 50 years in Giles Hyundai. They bought the old M&M location on Sturks and MacArthur, knowing that they had to vacate that building. They were looking at property on Highway 28 West and on Highway 165 and fell in love with the site just to the right of the Why Not Stop as you cross the bridge coming into Pineville. So Giles Automotive purchased that a couple of months ago and have made the announcement official that they are putting over $6 million into a new car facility in Pineville that is going to be second to none in both how it looks and how it operates. And we're excited to have them as one of the first things that you will see coming into Pineville when that construction gets underway this summer. We have a 20-acre RFP that our city engineer has assured me is already out and on the streets, and we look forward to that. Our goal in this is to attract a healthcare-related endeavor for that 20 acres. But again, Central State Hospital is still on the grounds. What they've allowed us to do is to market to businesses that we want to attract to Pineville, to market about 30 to 40 acres that are outside the gates of the main hospital. The hospital is still moving. There's a $32 million project that is being built right now across from Camp Beauregard on the backside of Pinecrest on state property, and Central hopes to relocate there after the first of the year. But in the meantime, we were able to put not one, not two, but now our 3rd different request for proposal on the streets, and we couldn't be more excited. You couldn't do this, though, without a partnership with the Pineville Downtown Development District. And we're really excited that last month, their new chairman is a member of your club and a resident of Pineville. Mr. Mike Tudor is the new chairman of the Pineville Downtown Development District. Mike's been working hand in hand with us from the beginning, so even in his retired state from his legal profession, we've got him working hard with our PDDD, and we really appreciate that. And Mike and my chief of staff, who helps organize the PDDD, have worked so well together, and for that I'm thankful. And Mike, thank you for all you're doing for us. Part of our commitment to downtown revitalization is also our commitment to Louisiana Christian University. Not many cities have a university in the heart of its downtown, but since 1906, it has been our neighbor and our partner in economic development. LCU is also just as visible from the Pineville Expressway. If you can see the map to the left of the screen, you can see the huge footprint, 83 acres that it encompasses, and it gives them a unique footprint and visibility in Pineville, and we appreciate our partnership with LCU. There's a lot of dirt moving in Pineville, and for that we're very thankful. We just cut the ribbon a few weeks ago on Southern Air Plumbing and Air Conditioning. They bought a building that was no longer in use. It was, you may remember it as the old IC plant there on 165, and they gutted that building and made it a two-story corporate headquarters for Southern Air, and we're really excited to have them, and we cut the ribbon on that. And speaking of automotive, Walker Automotive is busy as well. Appreciate Foster Walker's commitment to buying a 2-acre tract that is on the corner of 28 East and the Pineville Expressway. Many of you may remember when that building that's being remodeled right now opened up in the early 70s as Louisiana Savings and Loan. Maybe it's more like the mid-70s. I used to catch my bus on that corner of Hembling Drive and 28, and it was such a unique building then. It's gone through several owners, but we are so excited that Foster bought the property, first of all, has totally cleaned it up, and is restoring that building to its original architecture and adding a flair to it that will make it very appealing from that very well-traveled corner. So again, good to have yet another automotive investment on the north side of the river. Sweet Joy Bakery, maybe you've heard of them. They've been baking king cakes and cooking out of their home for the last several years, and they finally decided they needed something more brick and mortar to operate out of, and they've joined a growing chorus of new businesses that are on Military Highway near Pinecrest Drive. Sweet Joy Bakery will be cutting the ribbon on that very shortly. Another somewhat local business, it's locally owned, and that is the All Hours Fitness. They are right off of 28 East, 20,000 square feet, 100 parking spots, and my wife is challenging me to buy one of those parking spots and everything, but we're so happy to have Luke Pearson and his family investing in All Hours Fitness and building a fantastic facility there. We also have our second Why Not stop. The first one is one of their most popular in the 16 that they own between I-10 and I-20, but they are opening, have begun construction or have begun clearing the land on 28 East. If you've been out toward Crest Industries and wondered what happened to that piece of land, that is the future home of Why Not Stop, and we're excited to have them. Petron is also working very fast on a strip center development that has over 30,000 square feet of retail space on 165 across from the old Kmart. We've got several businesses that are coming in there, including Firehouse Subs, Elite Physical Therapy, the bakery, Little Cakes with Big Attitude. I almost said Big Cakes with Little Attitude, but it was the other way around. And so I'm sure I will get it right when I get to visit there. But just, again, a part of commercial development that is helping make Pineville grow. We don't have our own gas system. We don't have our own electrical system, thanks to our friends at Clico. But what we survive off of is water and sewer, and sales tax and property tax. So the more commercial investment we get, the better it is for our sales tax base to allow us to do more. But we're also very heavy into moving dirt when it comes to beautification. And if you've traveled down Edgewood Drive lately, if you were a proponent or an opponent of a roundabout, hopefully everyone's gotten a roundabout to enjoying what we have, because we've taken that roundabout in front of Pineville Junior High, landscaped it, and have made it a popular area to travel. And I'm really pleased with what our beautification department has done with that. But besides beautification, the city of Pineville's been working hard to strengthen its recognition of history. And we have a renewed commitment to the placement of historical markers across our city. Some of them that you see on the screen include one that's at the Rapides Cemetery, the oldest cemetery in Rapides Parish, that's at the foot of the Gillis Long Bridge as you come from Jackson Street into Pineville. It's there on the left. Very excited to have a visitor's guide that you can scan the barcode and download that to your phone. Many of the streets in Alexandria, the names of which they were derived from, are buried in that cemetery, along with a couple of governors from Louisiana history as well. And we've got two new ones that will be going up real soon for both the Berwick family estate as well as the Page family on 28 East. So excited about those. One of those is in and the other is on its way. So we're excited about that, and we'll have those unveilings coming up soon. Speaking of history, it's a great time in our city's history, because many of the projects that the city has been working on for years, and in some cases decades, are finally starting to move forward. I know it's hard to read this on the screen, but I will say that back in 2021, Pineville Mayor Clarence Fields and I huddled with the best engineer in the business, Tom David, and we put together, through federal money, through ARPA money, through state money, and through $11 million that we bonded out so that we would have money to leverage to get those projects. On the screen, you have $27.7 million in projects, and that includes a major drainage pain for us. Tom and I were just over at Skip Converse this morning, sealing the deal on acquiring the last couple of pieces of land that we need for that. But a lot of downtown flooding issues will hopefully be resolved by a $5.2 million project that's about to be let for bid. We have let for bid a program through the water sector program, a $5 million project that will help improve the sewer area at Cedar Lake. We've got GIS, we've got generators in this, we've got street repairs in this project. We have repairs to our Pineville Senior Citizens Center in this project list of capital improvements. And it also includes improving the water system to Central State Hospital, because the lines that they have, we supply them water, but our service of water from a line standpoint stops at the front gate. All the lines inside, electrical and water and sewer, are property of the state. So we need to get another water line run so that we can serve better the Why Not Stop, the Giles, and the future businesses that are coming. But again, I am so thankful for the leadership of Mayor Clarence Fields, for Tom David, and our Pineville City Council that voted in 2022 to move forward with this capital improvement project list. And I am so happy to be watching those projects start to happen. So again, Tom, thank you for that, as well as to our former mayor, Clarence Fields. Quick Keys Park update. I always get asked about that wherever I go. Keys Park is in the final stages of over $400,000 in renovations between the equipment and other things that we're doing inside the park. We needed some major improvement to several pieces of equipment. We also wanted to make sure we had some inclusive equipment included in that. They are finishing putting the turf down around those pieces of equipment. We have a few other improvements we are going to make to walking trails and to get some sod down outside of the playing areas. But we're hoping within the next 2 weeks to have that open. And we also are thinking ahead to Christmas, because we are planning something around Keys Park that we hope will be a new attraction for folks at Christmas time. So just a little peek into Santa's bag on that. One of the first big decisions I was able to make as mayor was the selection of a new police chief. And I could not be more excited about the person that I was able to sign the paperwork on. For like me, he's been a part of the city of Pineville for a long time. He was a very faithful number two, and Daryl Basco has stepped into that role and is doing some great things. Daryl, would you stand up, please? Using technology and analytics in a way that even has my mind boggled at how we're doing it, but we're being proactive instead of reactive to crime. And you know, you can't compare sides of the river. Our demographics are different. We have 275 employees. City of Alexandria has over 1,000 employees. We're dealing with 15,000 citizens. City of Alexandria 3 times that amount. So you can't compare the two, but I am very thankful that we are doing the things that we need to do on our side of the river to be proactive. One of the things that Chief Basco brought to me right off the bat was to name our first female captain in PPD history, and I'm going to ask Kim if she would stand up. Captain Kim Mixon. Kim heads our new Community Affairs Bureau, and it's a very comprehensive program of crime fighting strategy that is built on networking with neighborhoods. You know, your police officers that are working shifts in areas of the city are going from one stop to the next, whether it's a parking lot accident at Walmart or whether it's someone that had their purse taken or whether, you know, it's an accident. Those units can't develop the relationships with the community that our community liaison officers are. And Kim's heading that up, and she's doing a wonderful job with that. And we certainly appreciate that. And we say congratulations to our Captain Kim. So thank you for that. Hopefully you've also noticed another small change that we've made. You know, a new mayor comes in, new police chief comes in. Sometimes you want to tweak things a little bit. And one night, Daryl reached out to me and said, what do you think of this idea? And basically all we did in changing the color scheme was to take the word police and put a little red, white, and blue in it. But it looks sharp, and we're going to see those rolling out even more in the days ahead, and we appreciate that. In my first few days in office, I had the reporter asked me a few minutes ago, you know, what are some of your biggest accomplishments? I said, well, just getting a new staff in place was one of the biggest accomplishments, because not only did I need a new police chief and a new fire chief, but I also needed a new public works director. I needed a new utility director. I had to replace our city clerk, and I needed a new chief of staff because I was vacating that office to move up to mayor. And we also needed a new secretary to guard the gate between the mayor and the chief of staff. And I feel like I've hit home runs with all of them, and I am really excited. I want to ask Doug Gann, my chief of staff, to stand. And Rebecca Stellwagen, she is the voice you'll hear when you call our office. So appreciate those two very much. We hired David Humphreys, who spent 27 years at the Sales and Use Tax Office for the parish. We hired him in January to be our finance director, and we are going through the budget process now. I'll be presenting my first budget as mayor in a few weeks to the council and then to everyone else in June, so really excited about that opportunity. Technology is also a big part of what we're doing. You heard about that on the police side of things. If you are interested in keeping up with Pineville events, all you have to do, pull out your phone. You can do it right now and text to 91896, and you text the word Pineville events, all one word, Pineville events, and when there's an event going on, you'll get a text about it. Or if you want to get alerts, boil advisories, when there's an accident on a road that you want to avoid, text the word Pineville alerts to 91896. You don't have to live in Pineville to do that. So you can get hooked up with that, and we certainly appreciate it. As I roll into what's ahead, and I'm going to pick up the pace here a little bit as I am down the home stretch here, what's ahead for the city of Pineville? Well, one of the big things we're working on, believe it or not, is animal control. It's a big issue on the north side of the river. We partner with our sister city, Ball, and many of the areas that are outside the city limits, but they come to us when it comes to loose animals or animals that need a home. And we are really excited. We're buying a piece of property that used to be the Sinlaw Animal Clinic that is across from Southern Air, where 71 and 165 split. The 71 split, we're buying that building in a couple of weeks. It will triple the size of our current animal control facility, and we have been, as best we can, graduating to a no-kill shelter, and that's an important thing for us. And we've, of course, doubled the number of people that are working in that department. So again, a big concern for us on the north side of the river we're dealing with. We're also very concerned about public safety from the standpoint of having a building for them to operate out of. Again, this was one of those campaign issues that got misdistributed, misinformed, or maybe it was on purpose, I'm not sure. But I do want to say on the record that the mayor's office is going to be in the same place that it's been for the last 50 years, and that is in the building that is currently Pineville City Hall. But what we are going to do is build a new structure that will get our police department out of the dungeon that is underneath City Hall in the back of our complex and put them in a state-of-the-art facility where the Pineville City Court currently sits. And then on the second floor of that building will be our Pineville City Court that serves both wards 9, 10, and 11. Those folks have been operating out of a shoebox, basically. Some of you might remember it as an old pharmacy building that was there next to City Hall. And we are excited to get this underway. It is a project that we are in the design phase on right now, but it will give a whole new look to the corner of Reagan and Main Street right across from First Baptist Church. We're excited for that and what that means to our commitment to downtown redevelopment, but we're also excited what that'll mean to our Pineville Police Department and to our Pineville City Court. And that's a situation where the state is putting up over $11 million for us for that program. We have a $2.5 million match. That's a good deal no matter what kind of business you're in, and we're excited for that opportunity. Hopefully you'll also notice some gateway sign improvements. Highway 28 East by Crest Industries. That sign has been crumbling for quite some time, and we're excited that it's finally being stripped down, repainted, and it's going to be dedicated to large employers on the north side of the river. And it will say, "Welcome to Pineville" when you come in on Highway 28 East and on Highway 165 by Procter & Gamble. Both of those signs are going to be redone with the logos of the businesses that make Pineville so strong. We have a major recycling effort that we're about to begin, and we're really excited. Camp Beauregard has shown their commitment to us, and now we're showing our commitment to them. They are designing this recycling bin the first one will be at Keys Park in just a few weeks, and we're excited about that. It'll be the first time that we have an area of recycling for glass, for paper, for plastics, and we're really, really excited about that. We are working on the ability to pay your utility bills online. Yeah, we don't have that capability, but we're about to, and we're about to roll that out. We also have a big commercial development that we're working on for Highway 28 East, and it involves us extending Edgewood Drive, and we're in the final weeks of getting that action done to be able to extend Edgewood Drive past the Walgreens. There's 8 to 9 beautiful acres back there that can be developed. I will tell you, when Lowe's first came to the market to look in 2006, 2007, they wanted to be on that site, but we couldn't make it happen then. Walmart Neighborhood Market looked at that site, but we couldn't make that happen a couple of years ago. We're finally in a position to make that happen, and we look forward to announcing that here in the days ahead. Real quickly, special events coming up. Just to let you know, Dragon Boat Races return to Bulow Lake. Really excited about that. It's this Saturday, May the 6th. We are working with the Exchange Club on a special Flag Day ceremony that will happen the week of June 10th through the 17th. A beautiful flag by the river. You're going to see a lot of flags by the river thanks to the Exchange Club. Our fireworks over Bulow is on July 3rd, not July 4th. July 3rd is the day we've always done it, so our employees can be with their families on July 4th. Fireworks over Bulow Lake is a sight to behold. And I want to extend a special invitation to you to join us this Thursday when we will be having what we've done for the last 30 years, and that is praying on the steps of Pineville City Hall for the National Day of Prayer. It is a national observance. We're going to be doing it on the steps of Pineville City Hall at noon on Thursday, May the 4th, this Thursday. I hope you'll come join us. Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today.